you got that, and you gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me. I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my only friends, which includes, but it's not limited to, my sidekick. What's poppin', Burke?
What the fuck is the matter with you?
Oh, you didn't have the mic up?
What, honestly, what's wrong with you?
I didn't see that.
What are you, blind?
Yes.
Can't see what's going on here?
I think lazy.
Oh, lazy's a good word.
Jesus Christ. He hasn't thrown it to me in fucking 2 weeks. He sees that I'm over here doing shit.
That's why he threw it to you.
You overdue.
Look, this is why you're the sidekick, because you weren't prepared.
No,
Not
he's
prepared.
not prepared, which is why he threw it to me to take the fucking heat off of him. Go ahead and cut to that camera.
Yeah, how about you throw to Conrad?
With 2 seconds to go live, and he's up walking around. Like
You'd think we do something in the 5 minutes.
it's almost like as if we have an hour to prep for this show, and you know, things just seem to never get done.
You got here like 5 minutes ago.
I know what happened.
There was a
Landon.
long line at Subway, and this lady wouldn't take people's orders.
I'm
It was
fully
crazy.
aware of everything that happened. Now the audience may not be. But
Excuse me, another news.
Yes.
I found another way to make some passive income.
Are we selling Conrad's Closet?
No.
Because that's on the table.
I think I'm going to sell palm trees.
Go
You're gonna
on.
grow them in your
Overhead.
backyard?
The overhead is nothing.
Whoa.
You can get
Whoa.
a couple $100 for like a 3-foot palm. They take like 2 years to grow, but you can grow them from seed. Seeds cost absolutely nothing. You can get them all over town.
Are you gonna like just use a vacant lot?
Well, no, I mean, I have my backyard. I have my mom's house. Like
Are we sure overhead's no? I feel like these take a lot of water.
soil,
Yeah.
water costs what? Nothing?
Soil costs a lot.
Water costs a lot.
I don't know. I'll have to look into it, but I think it's like the easiest way to make like
I
an
do
extra
know
10,
that the
20
big
grand.
palms are worth
A lot of
Yeah,
money.
if they're really big, but
Yeah.
you can sell the 2-3 foot ones for a couple $100.
Okay.
Why don't you just buy Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Well,
He's kind of right.
He is going to do that.
You can do all that stuff, or you could just buy Bitcoin and come back.
He
in
could
4
do
years.
both. He can use his palm tree fund to
buy Bitcoin. I like that. Yeah,
This isn't really passive either.
It's
Well,
kind
that
of
doesn't sound passive at
kidding me?
all.
that sounds like a lot
Right,
of fucking
you gotta
work.
You
work,
look up
yeah.
an irrigation system, they're palm trees, like they're so hard to kill.
Irrigation.
This is a
Guapa's like, I have a great idea for passive income. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a lawn mowing business.
set up an apparatus.
I'm going to go around house to house.
It's a
knocking on
riding lawnmower, so it's passive.
doors. Whoa, that's the upgrade, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't just come out of the fucking
That's
chute
true.
with a riding mower.
That's true.
Oh, man. Okay.
I actually
well,
had a push mower when I was a kid.
we all did, I
Didn't
think.
we
Yeah.
all? I've never not had a push
Yeah.
mower.
How rich?
It's always been push mower.
I actually had a ride on.
What?
I lived in a good life.
I don't even know what that means.
A ride on lawnmower?
Yeah.
Like one of those, like you
You
drive it.
stand on it?
You drive it.
Like what we
Like-
were initially talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
A
sure.
riding mower.
Sure.
Like,
Ride on,
it's
riding.
like the John Deere ones where you just sit there and they go.
Oh,
Yes.
boy. It's going to
So
be
a normal, not push mode lawnmower.
You guys are in for a fucking treat today, I have to tell
He's
you.
late, okay? He's like,
Okay.
Conrad's on like a 30-second lag. Like always.
Somebody reboot Conrad.
Yeah.
Do.
You see, wow, wow,
I'm just
wow.
really sorry that they weren't here for the pirate argument prior to the show.
I don't know. They
Well,
don't
man,
like
it's
Pirates
fucking hot.
baseball.
I'm heated.
Lamana's
Why
hot.
can't we just enjoy this series win we're about to have over the Cardinals? No, you got to be
We could.
Matt Berkey,
Well-
which everyone out there knows what I mean. It's just like argue to the death. You're right about everything when you know absolutely nothing. Like when you talk
Nothing.
about poker, it's fine because you know
Is
you
it?
understand. I mean, I think he understands poker way more than he understands baseball. That's for damn sure.
What an
Oh, God.
idiotic thing. Landon, would you back me up a little bit here?
I mean, as the third-party observer, Brian made a statement.
Don't do this to me.
Brian made a statement. Look,
Landon.
man. Nah.
Landon.
Brian made a
Don't do
statement.
this to me,
As a
Landon.
third-party observer.
Don't do this to me.
Brian made a statement, and Matt said, would you like to bet on that statement? Brian then said, no. Matt said, okay, let me look up the answer. And
There
Matt
is no answer. We don't have the answer. The question at hand was, he said something. The Pirates are never going to have a batter that can drive in 100 RBIs.
No one's going to drive in 100 RBIs. No one's going to drive in
right. And I said, well, Brian Reynolds can, and you said, bet me, no way. And I'm like, well, let me see how many RBIs he has right now because, you know. No, I mean, I want to make sure he had as many as I thought he did, and he did.
Right. So you make a sweeping statement, sight unseen. I challenge that statement, sight unseen.
But you won't bet him now.
But why do I have to bet when I'm not saying he's definitely going to hit 100. I'm saying he can. You said nobody can, and I said he can. He has 61 right now.
Anybody can. It doesn't mean that they will.
Of the season.
Right. Yeah.
And he was scratched from the lineup today with back spasm, so we got to see how that plans out first.
So conservative.
It's just like
Brian did hit him with
typical. This is like he calls me a typical Pittsburgh fan, but he's a typical fan where he's just always down bad on the Pirates.
Down bad.
I'm not down bad. I'm just I'm pragmatic about it.
They have a great pitching staff. He hit you with the banger of, I see why everyone hates you.
Not everyone, just half the community.
Just the idiots. It's not my fault.
I see why people get frustrated when they're arguing with you.
Yeah, I know. When people throw fucking facts and truth in my face, I'd be pissed too. Like, well, all I was saying.
What facts and truth did you throw in my face?
Was that the Pirates have a great pitching staff and they don't have anybody that hits for average. They really don't have anyone who drives in a lot of runs, and they only have one or two guys.
They only
have one or two guys that can hit for power. So it's just a lineup top to bottom.
They don't have one or two guys that can hit for power.
I mean, Reynolds is probably going to hit 30.
Reynolds can hit for power.
That's
Lewinsky can hit for power.
When
Tellez can hit for power.
When I say
O'Neal Cruz can hit for power.
Okay, all you're doing is naming people that have hit home runs before.
I'm saying no. I'm saying no. I'm not. I'm saying those guys are power hitters.
I'm saying no. Rowdy Tellez.
Rowdy Tellez hit a 450-foot home run off a lefty today into the gainey.
You see what I'm dealing with here, people? Rowdy Tellez is going to end the season with 19 home runs. That is not a power hitter. Okay, like let's just call a spade a spade.
Started off slow. He did.
He's really cooking now.
What constitutes a power hitter? Well, how many do you have?
A perennial 30 home run hitter.
Those are hard to come by.
Not in the MLB, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Just in Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, they're very hard to come by.
You know, the Pirates haven't had a 40 home run
since Bonds. Jason Bay, Jason Bay.
Ever.
Willie Stargell.
Wow.
Bonds,
Jason Bay didn't
even
hit 40?
No, neither did Bonds.
I know. Bonds was, produced.
Willie
off the juice.
Stargell, not a Pirate has hit 40 home runs.
I really would have thought Jason Bay did.
Until O'Neal Cruz does it next year.
Where did Jason Bay go after you guys?
Retirement home? No, he might have spent a year in Toronto. But then they shipped him off into old man country. He was like our last.
Brian Giles hit 39 one year, maybe twice.
Giles was good for a minute.
Yeah, he hit 39 at least once or twice. He upper 30s a couple times. Never crossed the 40 mark.
How many? Well, let's say that for another time. But I was gonna say how many former Pirates went on to hit 40 elsewhere.
Oh,
Bonds,
Jose
Batista. Ramirez,
Garrett Cole,
Batista.
Ramirez did
for the Cubs.
40.
I would guess
40's a lot, man.
I would guess he did.
The Pirates are kind of like that team people who like kind of develop and then they go somewhere else and actually get rich.
Right.
They're a farm club for the rest of the
You know what I was thinking? All this sports talk, we got to get our underdog squads in. We got to get some squads in. We can't be fucking around.
Come on, it's only July, man.
It's time.
It's time.
I don't know, man. The Steelers reporting to camp today.
See? It's time.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Time to take a trip to California. Spend the weekend playing
Someone said,
lineups.
"Oh, look, it's our first round draft pick reporting to camp," and thank God it's not a wide receiver.
Who was your first round draft pick?
It was a tackle.
Yeah, it was
tackle
out
out of Georgia, I think.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Brock Bowers play for the Raiders. I just remember that they got him. He's a tight end for Georgia.
I was surprised by that pick.
Why?
They already have a very good tight end.
Darren Waller, right?
No, Waller went to the Giants, then he retired.
Yeah, well, I think he's coming out again.
Maybe.
He's trying to win back. What's her face?
Yeah,
from the Aces.
Yeah.
She's hot, man.
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Fuck. What's her name?
Fuck.
Don't know.
Fuck.
She's on the Bob McAfee, the Pat McAfee show all the time.
Bob McAfee went to high school. Shout out to Bob.
She plays poker too, or she did play a couple tournaments.
What
all
up?
Right, calm down.
What up?
Kelsey Plum. There we go.
Yes, but no. After Waller left, they got a young tight end last year that emerged. I can't think of who it was. I guess I don't know. I really thought they would go quarterback, but I guess they drafted a quarterback.
They have
Was it
Aiden O'Connell,
Yeah.
and I think they're just going to try to run it with.
I don't care, to be honest. I hate the Raiders.
Honestly, I like the Raiders. They're they're going to be my third team. Like, you know,
Third and fourth.
The entire tri-state area is
Why not
Conrad.
Buffalo?
Huh?
Why not Buffalo?
Fuck them. That's not even New York.
That's so.
That's not New York.
Well, why not the Eagles then?
That's not
that's
New
Philly.
York.
Yeah, but like we're just talking, proximity at this point.
Tri-state
no, it's
area,
not.
bro.
That's not how it
Jets,
works.
Giants.
That'd be like
It's
saying,
li-
like, why not like Cleveland?
It's Lions because I'm adopted Lion fan because of Corey.
No, it's not like that because I would never choose a team outside of exactly Pittsburgh. So, like, if you put a second Pittsburgh team in there, I don't think I would. Well, maybe I would.
You would. What are you kidding?
But this is why you don't like the Eagles.
You fucking
Oh, yeah,
believe
fuck you.
Pittsburgh. What are you talking about? If they put another team into Pittsburgh, you'd be the biggest fan.
But I bleed Pittsburgh because it's a small city. New York is obviously not in the sense that it can house two fucking football teams.
Well, the thing
you
is,
gotta
it
draw
is-
a line, man.
The funny part is,
They can't even
New
house
York
one. What are
is
you
a
talking about?
small
They're in
city,
Jersey.
kind of.
That's true.
It's just a lot of fucking people.
I mean, it's not that small. But
I mean, you're from Pittsburgh, so anything is big.
all right, let's
Want to go
move
to
on.
Arizona this weekend and catch Buccos?
No, I don't. Arizona's the only place hotter than here right now.
They got a dome.
Yeah, they do. I wish. I'm looking forward to the A's coming here. I wish they weren't an American League team.
You're not trying to watch laziness.
We'll at least get to
Right.
see. It'd be nice because we'll get to see, like, like the Yankees come. So it's like you get to see superstars like Judge and Stanton and Soto.
Don't forget Garrett Cole.
Love to hear
Garrett
it.
Cole.
I don't enjoy anybody who plays for the Yankees ever.
Whatever.
I mean, once he retired, like Jeter I was able to appreciate him, maybe similarly to the way I can appreciate Tom Brady post-retirement. But while those teams were winning, not one person.
I mean,
Imagine
I
not
get
liking
it, 'cause
Jeter in his prime.
The Yankees are the antithesis of the Pirates, so
Right.
I get that, but I like I enjoy the Yankees for like the history of the team and it's just like they are baseball, and if you really like baseball, I think enjoying them is.
I think growing up in an Italian household, having Joe DiMaggio stuffed down your throat forces you to
Yogi Berra,
indirectly like the Yankees. Yeah,
Paul Volpe.
the poker player.
Oh, no, Paul
It's not
Volpe.
Paul Volpe. I was like, O'Neill. Paul O'Neill.
I'm like
Bernie Williams.
No, I'm talking about Volpe for
The Yankees.
Anthony
the Yankee-
Volpe.
Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, Paul.
Okay,
That's
Well, it's like you said, Bob McAfee.
I did. Big shout out to Mac.
dementia setting in early.
Wonder if he's related to Pat McAfee.
Probably not.
I mean, from the same area.
Yeah, but I would. Oh, yeah, the old McAfee clan in the greater Leechburg
Maybe
Plum
we'll,
area.
maybe we'll see him at a family reunion.
You know
or
what I
something.
John
figured out
McAfee's there
yesterday?
too.
Oh, no.
Pittsburgh's offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith.
Mm-hmm.
You know what his dad does?
Yeah, he
owns Smith's.
He created FedEx.
He created FedEx.
Yeah, it's super rich.
How the fuck?
They're billionaires.
What made you want to
obviously.
be a goddamn offensive coordinator?
Because you can do it literally whatever you
Yeah, you
want.
can do whatever you want.
What do you mean? Yeah,
what do you want to do with the rest of your life? Oh,
Right.
I'm going to coach football.
Yeah.
I think he was also in the military for a stint.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which, if you're a billionaire, that's another career path.
Well, it's
I
kind of just
don't
like,
know that.
it's
You
almost
gotta
like
respect it.
It's
You
like,
gotta-
what
you
else
gotta
are you gonna
respect
do?
it? Like,
Yeah,
you don't have to do it and you go.
Like, you don't have to do anything,
Did you
right?
ever
So you
see,
get to do
did you ever see
everything.
Office Space?
No,
No.
Oh.
What?
I've never seen Office. I've
What
heard
else
of
are
I
you
it.
don't
gonna
watch
do?
comedy stuff. I think it is.
Nothing, man. Fucking nothing.
Yeah. Well, not him. He's doing something.
Yeah, he is doing something. He's cooking.
I woke up today. I did nothing. It was
But he's
everything
not,
I thought it would be.
He's not Matt Canada.
Well,
No one
he's probably actually worse than Matt Canada.
No, he's not. Shut
He
your
didn't
mouth.
use his tight end. That's one of the best in the league all year.
How can you be worse than the worst person ever to coach in the history of the NFL?
Well, they're probably the same.
Also, he was coaching the Falcons, man. Lay off. It's like being the head coach of the Pirates. What do you expect?
yeah, poor
You're
Shelby.
coaching the Falcons, but you have Kyle Pitts, one of the best tight ends probably to ever play football.
Oh,
eventually, when
Jesus.
it's all
Here we go.
Christ,
The big three:
man.
Tony
He's gonna be
Gonzalez,
really
Antonio
fucking
Gates,
good.
and Kyle Pitts.
I don't even know that those two are the part of the big three anymore.
he was
like,
hyped up to be one of them.
right. It's like
Jeremy Shockey.
No, he will be.
no.
No,
what
what
are
the
you talking
fuck?
about? You got Kelsey. You got
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you got
he's
fucking
good.
Kittle, and now we're talking Jeremy Pitts.
No, but they're still in
Not
the
even
league. They
Jimmy
don't count.
Florida.
Kyle Pitts is
Kyle Pitts,
only
whatever.
played 1 year, so just give him a minute.
Okay.
And he played with Arthur Smith.
Maybe you give him a minute before you just anoint him the greatest tight end to ever strap in.
No, I never say he's the greatest, but he's going to be one very good.
Play back the tape. No one knows what they fucking
He's
say.
going
That's
to be very-
abundant.
He's
I
on
know
a
what I
30-second
say.
lag.
I know
okay?
there was a shot at me, and I know what I say. I know exactly what I'm saying.
He knows what he
And
says
I
in the
stand by
moment.
my statement.
Oh, we forgot about Sharp.
Shannon?
Oh, yeah. Best podcaster ever.
He is the best podcaster.
How about
ever.
Gonzalez?
He said he doesn't belong on the
said
Mount
Gonzalez.
Rushmore.
Oh, he did.
What? I know. I
Shannon
heard
Sharp
that.
said he doesn't belong on the Mount Rushmore,
I heard that.
which may be true statistically, but he definitely belongs as far as being a game changer.
My profit margins are shrinking.
Go on.
I just looked up soil and
Uh-huh.
I told you so. It
how
was
much it
expensive.
would cost to water a plant for 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not cheap.
No.
Oh, Aaron
Yeah, it's not
Hernandez.
looking
Relax, buddy.
Looks
Okay.
like it's time for Plan B. Looks like it's time for Plan B.
Yo,
Which is
that's illegal
Bitcoin?
in most states.
good.
Not that kind of Plan B.
To be honest with you, nobody hung it up like Aaron Hernandez.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Oh,
Not
did I
today.
did I do
it's
that?
it's Wednesday.
Oh,
Come
sorry.
on.
It's Wednesday, my
Sorry,
dudes.
sorry. I didn't
Come on,
mean to say
We
that.
got things to do. All right, listen.
Why, bro?
Well, I can't segue into that one now. That's clear. Lena 900 has transitioned right back into the online streets as one does after winning
4 million.
many millions. 4 million. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like before I give him his kudos for. Actually, it's up. We'll give him his kudos. So this past Sunday, he ended up winning, or he ended up cashing for $55K on PokerStars. Nice little Sunday score. You know, I know following Pads' stories that Sundays can be a bit expensive. So, you know, it's good to see one of the GOATs out there just getting it done as one does. But we were kind of discussing this in the kitchen the other day, and I find it to be an interesting conversation. Do you think there is any part of Lena winning that money that makes him like reconsider his hourly in the online streets?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to make that much money playing online, and now you have it.
So, like, where I'm coming from for this, and maybe I'm just wired a little bit differently, but 2013, after I had my big scores in the World Series, I immediately got the opportunity to play in Ivy's room, which was at that time a 200-400 game, and very quickly turned into a 300-600-1200 game. So I had roughly 20-25% exposure of myself over all of that time, and you know, my hourly was somewhere in the 4-digit range. Like the high 4-digit range.
With
right?
your piece or combined?
No, total.
Okay.
So I'm making like 25% of, you know, something in the neighborhood of like 4 or 5K an hour. So that's pretty fucking good. It's very difficult to do anywhere else, right? But what I realized is I wasn't getting that many hours in. I would probably only play like 500 hours a year. So it became a question then of what do I do with the rest of my time? Do I go play 10-20, 10-20-40, where I'm likely making $200 an hour, $300 an hour, maybe if the games are good, or I'm game selecting, whatever, which is now, I don't know, maybe
a quarter
to a third of my normal hourly. And I just ultimately decided, like, no, I'm not that greedy when it comes to making money, but I am that greedy when it comes to my time and getting it back.
You're saying it is worth your time?
It was not worth my time, in my opinion, because it's like this opportunity is so big.
Guapo's head just exploded.
No. My head didn't explode. I honestly didn't.
It's like I'm over here
didn't-
fucking trying to dig up palm
He's like,
trees.
you're saying $250 an hour is not worth your time? What else could you be doing with your life,
I
Burke?
honestly just didn't hear what you said.
Well,
I couldn't tell if you said if it was or if it
it's
wasn't.
relative.
No, I mean, that's kind of how I think, too.
It's also relative to other opportunities. So basically, the way I was thinking of it was, I can scale in this big game scenario, right? If things go well, I can have more than a quarter myself, and that will naturally increase my hourly, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, basically, I'm just seeing this as an opportunity to get 1,500 hours back a year to do whatever I want. And eventually, it led to me starting the company and looking into more, you know, other endeavors like
Womp womp.
business endeavors, whatever.
Palm trees.
Palm trees. Starting a manicure business. Who knows? Yeah. But the point is that I think at some point you cross the threshold where you have enough money that your hourly is no longer the concern. Because when I started the business, I didn't think I was making more money than playing 10-20, obviously. but I thought that it would be a passion project that could teach me a lot about other areas of the world that I'm no longer exposed or that I'm not exposed to at all, and potentially have enough upside where eventually like it would perform better.
Did you learn what you wanted?
Yeah, I learned a lot. I mean, I would do a lot of things differently, but I wouldn't have not started if given the choice. I wouldn't go back to 2014 and grind 1020 public instead.
You don't want to have burned it down when you had the chance.
What do you mean?
Like you would rather have started the company and been here versus not do that after the stuff 100%. You've learned and all
100%. I mean, knowing what I know now, there's a lot of things I would have done differently to either kind of like streamline the path or set ourselves up for more success.
But you're happy with the fact that you went for it versus playing 1020?
It's not even close.
1020-40.
It's like not even remotely close for a million different reasons. Like that
is not money related.
Some of it is. I think that I was afforded many more good opportunities by not being out in the public grinding 24/7. Now, granted, like what people perceive me as a poker player, like my reputation as a winning or losing poker player, whatever you want to say, that quote unquote brand has been tarnished by me not battling publicly and by me, playing pretty wild on streams and stuff like that. But the upside of that financially was worth way more than any hourly I could have scraped by getting out there and doing the dirty work, if that makes sense, right? Like the opportunities I've been afforded to play in games that like, people that are in the exact same position as me would never get afforded was just worth endless amounts.
Because people think they're good at poker.
Yeah. There's a big difference between, presenting yourself as elite versus just wanting to gamble.
Ruffling around.
You, like, this is kind of off track, but you mentioned like game selection. In like the 10-20-40 realm, there isn't so much of that, is there?
Not now, but I mean 2013, like those games were really fucking good.
Okay. Right.
2013 was a different time.
Yeah.
So I was saying, it feels like there is no game selection now, and like you just spend a lot of time going back and forth to the casinos just praying.
No, the big problem back then was that you just didn't have access to higher. Okay. It was like 10-20-40, occasionally 25-50, and then 300-600.
Yeah, there was no stepping stone to the higher stakes.
And, you basically were just like always on the outside looking in whenever those games would pop up. Like it was no shot type of thing. So I think a lot of the regs back then that were doing really well at the 10-20-40, the Greggies, the Jesse Sylvias, the Osmuses, Justin Young is another example. I think that they were kind of like looking at the JRB game going like, what the fuck? I don't want to sit here for the rest of my life. And they were probably doing better than I'm even estimating. They might have been making like 400 hours or $400 an hour, $500 an hour, something like that. But they know they're not making $2K an hour, and they know they have no potential to because they can't make the game big enough. So and what ends up happening is at some point you accumulate enough skill and money at that stake level where it's just not big enough for you to grow. So you just have to be comfortable, I guess, or deal with the fact that you're just going to make a fixed amount, like a cap every single year. Yeah. And I think that they got frustrated with that. I think it's what led to the Bobby's Room game getting created, within a 4 or 5, like around 2015, 2016, I think things started to change. Okay. The 10-20-40 got a lot tougher. A lot of the recs got kind of like plucked out to go play the private games.
How long has that Bobby's game been going on?
I want to say they started in either 17 or 18.
Okay. Right before COVID?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was running for like a year and a half before COVID, maybe 2 years.
Interesting.
But there were other ones that cropped up before that. Harrison Doc Sands game started like 2016-ish. I think they were like the first ones.
Was there like that?
Keating
like
started shortly thereafter.
Rotation?
That was their game. Yeah. And then shortly thereafter, Keating started a 200-400 no limit game.
Okay. I didn't know his game was that big.
Well, back then it wasn't that big. That wasn't considered big because there was 3-6-12 running in the room right now. Like they didn't even get the private room.
Yeah, they were on the.
They would be like up top.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a feeder, where it's like when there was overflow from JRB's game, he would just send them to Keating's game. Little did he know he's like breeding his future competition. Yeah. Which now the roles have completely flipped, and like Keating basically owns that room to some degree. To bring this full circle back to Lena, you wonder if after the $4 million score, if there's any inventory being taken of like, well, what next? Because
The only thing would be Triton.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not even poker related, right? But the point is he's been grinding for 6 or 7 years now, maybe a little bit longer. And he's clearly, definitively been thought to be one of, if not the best online MTT players in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know what his year over year return looks like, but I bet it's pretty close year over year, right? Like I would bet
Because
that,
of the amount of volume that he's putting in.
because of the amount of volume, but also because of how limited the space is.
So here,
He can only win so much from that ecosystem, and I would imagine it's a gradual decline, especially now that COVID's passed and the like 25Ks aren't popping off all
Because
the time.
the pools are shrinking and the game is getting tougher.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so he has like 43 million in online earnings.
Right.
What would you estimate is like average profit per year?
I think
Is
so.
50
Let's say
is
that's
15% like too high.
no, definitely. Well, I don't know how much of it comes from high rollers, but I would imagine that we're assuming he's the best in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine there are some events he plays where his ROI is like really high, like maybe 30 plus.
But if you had to take an average,
And then some events where it's really low, like maybe 10 to 15. Yeah, I mean, let's just be generous and say that he's making 20% ROI year over year.
so that's
And
$8 million over the last 6 years.
If you do 6 years, yeah, let's say it's a little bit longer. Well, no, whatever. Say 6. Be generous. That's fine. So you're saying it's $8 million profit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's obviously good. It's a little bit over $1 million a year. And that's probably better than 99% of
Online pool.
winning players in any pool.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's got to be damn near the top of what you can make online. And it's still probably pretty close to the top of what you can make playing outside of high rollers live. Like a guy like, I think Lonus is like a good barometer, or like a Lonus type, or a Bing Wang, or Chance maybe. I think these are good barometers for what is available live if you're not fully committed to high rollers. I imagine they have had $2 million profit years, or damn near.
I would say Chance probably had a bigger one in the last 2 years.
Maybe.
I feel like Chance is a $2 million year every year.
Cashes.
feels like, yeah.
Cashes, not
No,
profits.
yeah, right,
Right?
of course, yeah.
I think Conrad's right. I think Triton, it seems like the most natural. I mean, where else?
The
where else do you
I mean,
go?
that's if he stays in poker. He might not stay in poker.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, I don't know that he could scale that much better at Triton, right? So like, let's say he has profited $8 million over the last 6 years, plus the $4 million score at the series, and that's $12 million profit. Paid some taxes, spent some money. Let's say he has half of that. Let's say he has a $6 million roll, and he wants to start firing Triton events. And maybe he even comes over for Poker Go events and the Super High Roller Bowl and stuff like that. Let's say that it all comes out to $3 million in buy-ins per year. And he's expecting to make 5% ROI on that. He's hoping to make $150K profit.
Wow.
So
right?
now he's okay. Yeah. So now,
And that's if he takes all of himself.
Yeah.
Right? But he's actually going to sell down to an ABI of something reasonable. Now, I'm obviously like exaggerating the point. Like, I'm sure there's first of all, I'm sure there's way more than 3 million worth of buy-ins. I'm sure you could play 10 million in buy-ins if you really wanted to.
A year?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm also sure that like I'm being really conservative with his ROI over the aggregate being only 5.
A lot of traveling too.
But yeah, there's a lot of expense in traveling. There's a lot of business that needs to be done in order to dilute yourself properly and ensure. And honestly, like he's so overrolled for online that I don't think it's a very compelling case to go play high rollers.
Is he affiliated with anyone? Has anyone picked him up?
I don't think so.
No, not that I know of.
No. Nope, just plays.
But
So you're saying he'd be better served to play live, like softer live events that have
if he wanted to go
big
that
prize
route,
pools.
but I'm not saying he's better served to do anything. He's well served to do whatever the fuck he wants.
He's afforded that.
I'm just saying that with that big lump sum score there, I personally, in his shoes, would take some inventory and say like, well, how much longer am I going to grind online? Because it seems pretty hard to get up for a random Wednesday schedule
Some people are built different though. Some people just absolutely love the grind, and he might continue to do this for the next 4 or 5 years just because he just enjoys it so much. It seems like a grind for some people. It seems like a waste of time or a lot of hours put in. But if you are enjoying what you're doing, like throughout, then you can continue to do it for longer than it seems.
I think that's
reasonable.
I think that's very true. But I also think there's big diminishing returns.
Oh, for sure.
Right. At some point, you're not on that steady upward progression, and you start to level off a lot.
Well, the return isn't like necessarily monetary based, right?
Right.
It's just being elite.
Yeah, just like finding ways to spend your time. You know,
enjoying
if you
it,
love poker, you just want to study more and like do it kind of for you versus do it for the money. But
I could see a world where he just like only plays Sundays, or maybe Sundays and Tuesdays moving
just, like,
forward.
Studies more, plays the higher buy-in stuff, and spends more time like not playing poker.
I guess that's ultimately like what the question for him would be is, what does this money change for you? And I think that the knee-jerk response of any true professional would be to say nothing. That's what like in Flo's exit interview is what does 1.5 million do for Flo's? Absolutely nothing. I don't like to spend money.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just like I'm just stockpiling more buy-ins, right? But I think that that is a bit of a short-sighted mindset, or one that isn't very considerate of the worth of your time and the value that you can maybe offer outside of just like signing up for the next event. But to your guys' point, like that might just be all that drives them, right? Like, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, some people have ideas or like goals to make some amount of money to like stop playing and exit or do something else or enter like bigger market. Other people just really love poker, and whether they make however much money or not, they're just doing it for, call it their own legacy, or like Daniel doesn't have to play anymore. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Right.
But he does it just because he loves poker and wants to like rack up the achievements.
Yeah, but to be fair, his like quote unquote grind, like where it's basically just the WSOP
plays when he wants.
And then like a handful of poker go.
Quality over quantity.
Correct, Brian. Right. A lot of quality over quantity. Panned out.
Yeah. And I guess he's allowed to do that stuff, and it's more of his grind is like being nice to people when they come up to him. You know?
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is the difference between the two of them is
not in like a bad way, you know.
I'm saying the difference between the two of them, with Lena would still be playing 52 weeks out of the year, and you know, still probably traveling for the WSOP, and like it's you're still looking at 1,500 hour a year type of schedule. Like that's a different kind of grind. That's I'm in the mode to become something kind of grind.
He's already been something.
That's what I mean. It's almost like not acknowledging what he's already achieved, right? He's still just like head down, getting out there and just like trying to absolutely wreck the world every day.
Yeah, I mean, what else? I guess what else are you gonna do with your time?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like I don't know.
I'd get a puppy.
You have one.
I'd get
3.
another one.
20 more.
Well, that's what I mean. Is like if I had called $10 million, like I would still do the same thing and like try to play tournaments and get better. But like I don't know, I wouldn't start like traveling or like not doing anything else. Like, I really don't know how I would spend my time.
What about?
I don't want to think about it.
What about if you were somebody like Griff, who came in second place for $6 million? Would you return to the grind of
my normal job or whatever?
Yeah. What was his job? He was
I don't know, like
supply
chain manager. Yes, that's right.
I don't know. If I didn't like it, probably not. No, I would not return.
Yeah.
Because like that, in some cases, like those jobs are
how
like
much
jobs
can you
for
like your job?
sustenance. I mean,
a lot of people love.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like I love doing this. I wouldn't go anywhere if I won a bunch of money.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean,
that's fair. But this isn't very restricting. Right. It's only like an hour and a half a day, 2 hours tops.
Yeah, but I like being in the space is what I'm saying. Like
yeah. But if we extrapolated this out and we said, all right, Guapo, we're doing a 10-hour live stream 5 days a week, you might not like it here so much.
Yeah, but I also know that's not a thing.
I'm trying to equate it to a normal 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
you know, he's not strapping in for 90 minutes in the morning, having breakfast and saying, all right, boys, I'm rich now. I'll see you later.
Is that like it comes, having that job though comes with a lot of stability, right? You have like
So $6 million.
Yeah, but you have $6 million, and then like what, 45% of it's going to taxes or whatever it is. A lot.
Let's figure something out here.
A lot's going to taxes, whatever it is, right? I'm sure you can get the number down, but like
Yeah.
The amount of money that
a big chunk is going to taxes,
Yeah.
and then like if you quit your job now, like he has a family or whatever, has a family on the way. Kid on the way, like you need to have health insurance, which
College.
is college stuff. Like
I would be willing to put a bet out that when the baby's born, he's not a supply chain manager anymore.
Listen, he has the opportunity to not have a job now, obviously, with
That's what
that
I'm
big,
saying.
huge score. But I'm saying that like keeping the job and having that steady income come in, as well as having this giant chunk of money that now you can just, instead of living off of it, you can go ahead and invest it and do different things for like, say maybe you work 10 more years and you make really good investments with the money that you got. And now you can just retire. And
It's kind of a fascinating thing.
But then,
'cause,
like, what do you do when you retire?
Wait, can he just retire?
And why wait till
He doesn't have
then?
to do that. He
Anything
just
you
retired today.
Because I'm saying that like now you can like make maybe a little bit more riskier investments that will pay off larger down the road.
But like, to
where-
what
In
extent
my
does that
opinion-
matter?
In my opinion,
It
the
matters
riskier
because
investment is going to work every day.
Because there's a different there's a difference between just having a chunk of money to invest and having that chunk of money that you now need to live off of and provide for your family while also investing it.
There's just like the different
You know what I
bracket
mean?
between like sustainability and like generational wealth.
Well, Burke, we were talking about this when we went to Tennessee, and this is like, our friend was like, "Oh, if I had $1 million, I would just quit now," and just like, and we all recognize that $1 million is not enough to just like live forever. But like, is 3? Is 4? Like,
Well, yes, because at some point you can
live off the interest.
Yeah,
and do
you
that
could
kind of- do certain
segregate like
things.
the
Right.
money working for you and
Right.
you living off some
Yeah.
of the money.
Right.
I think it's just like a mindset thing too, where it's kind of ingrained in most people that you're supposed to spend your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s laboring
Right.
and building a
wealth.
life.
Right.
And the irony is like, I haven't polled enough elderly people, I imagine, but I would guess if they had the opportunity to live their life backwards, where they had all the freedom in the world in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, and then worked it off in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, they would probably choose that.
Man, I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
the thing.
I think about my parents or my dad. He would. No, there's no way.
Yeah, that's because he's pushed the trauma of his fucking
Right, but, like,
youth years out of his mind.
No, but like I'm pretty sure that he would be like, I'm glad I worked as hard as I did and saved up the money that I did, that now I can,
Right, but
enjoy
like, you
my
have,
time now.
You have to feel that way though, because
You've spent so much
it's
time in
sunken
it.
cost.
Right.
Right, like you've already sunk your entire
And, like,
life
who wa-
into the work.
Right, but like, who wants to like be working like?
Amen. I know what
like,
you're about to say. When you're 50,
yeah,
60,
50,
70,
60, 70,
wants to
you
be-
want to be doing an 8-hour.
But who wants to be doing that in your 20s?
But
and
you're
30s
more
when
capable. You're young. You have more energy. It's a lot easier.
I think I prefer what Brian's describing here. if I'm going to put in some hard ass
Guys,
work,
What do you guys?
I don't want to do it when I'm
It's
60, 70 years
2024.
old.
Nobody's fucking laying brick, man.
Guys, do you understand what
Doesn't
the
matter about
suicide
laying
rate
brick,
would
it's
be at
talking about
50
getting
if
up
that was
and
the case?
It's not-
I
but
live my
again,
life
that's
without-
also fine.
Cacophony.
I mean, mental labor is hard too. Right? If you have to do a job where you have to be thinking all day long, it's like when you're 70,
like,
it's
yes,
tough.
but you're taking the thought experiment to the extremes where it's like, well, there's a mental decline and you're not worth as much as a worker when you're 70 and all this. That's not the point. The point is like, if you were given the opportunity to either use your end of life, like squander hours at end of life paying into something that gave you money back versus getting all that time back when you're young, or doing it the way that it's done now, I think most people would prefer to like live their life linearly, where you don't really have to take on all of not to call work wasted time.
No,
but,
I
like,
get it.
It's invested
Yeah.
time where you're literally getting compensated for the money or
Right.
for the time that you're wasting.
Well, this
But
is
like, it's also you don't know what the future is going to bring or what the world's going to look like.
I
So
get
like,
that.
yeah. So it's hard to be like, I'm just going to enjoy my time now and then I'll work later.
I think with poker specifically, like it's something that having that much money allows you to buy your freedom. But if people are playing poker professionally for themselves, there is some sort of mild freedom to choosing that over a normal job. Like you can choose to enter a tournament or not.
Sure.
Like you can choose how you spend your time.
I think that's what a lot of us gravitate towards here. But
So
and
having-
like what drew us into this, like the reason why I say this, the reason why I even brought this up and why I said like I don't think he'll be a supply chain manager once the baby's born is because he has the opportunity to buy that time back. Like he has the opportunity now to
not
be
do
a family person, be a dad, and not have to be away at work or whatever the case may be. And that was ultimately the framework that I was trying to convey, is that when you're fortunate enough to come into money, I think that we often are too short-sighted because we're so fixated on the way that the world is supposed to work, where you grow up, you get educated, you get a career, and then you spend that. Like the notion of working towards your golden years is kind of like it's kind of like a marketing ploy, right? It's like there isn't all that much golden about being old. You know, it's like if you could do it all over again, you'd much rather travel the world and enjoy your relationships and cultivate all of these things whenever you're young enough that you guys can experience a lot more than.
The issue in most cases in that way is that people that are young are broke and they need the money, right? It's the circular logic of.
Yeah. Go ahead, Guap.
I was going to say, isn't it possible that you have this mindset, or maybe that you have this view on things because I think you yourself said you've never had like a regular 9 to 5
I've never had the
where you're
clock
like grinding away and stuff. Again, I go back. I've been working since I was 14. I can't tell you how much, like, it scares me even today that in my 50s or 60s, I will still be working 6, 7, 8 hours a day, like busting hump. Like,
right, but
if I can have it the other way around and accrue wealth, like being young and just working hard and not talking about doing what you're doing, I would be okay with that. Like, I just, the thought of working like that in my later years versus having fun in my 20s, like,
and I agree with you, and it's there's also a difference between, you know, being able to retire at 55 and being able to retire at 75, right? Because like when if you work, you know, if you're able to retire when you're still in your mid 50s, and now you can, like, you're still relatively young, like, I mean, like, you can enjoy your life, you're not old and decrepit, right? But like, you know, if you have to work,
like the kids have left the nest, you know, like you've missed out on so much time that could have been invested in your tribe,
like your emotional
family,
cup, if you will.
Yeah, like all, and like, of course you have that fear. You've been working since you were 14. Imagine being trapped that way from now until the day you hit your deathbed, right? Like it's almost a fear perpetuated cycle where it's like, I started young and I did so to try to generate freedom. The freedom never came. So now I'm at least signing up for what everybody else is, which is at 63, I won't have to do this anymore. Right. But like, there's no guarantee. You don't work for a company. I mean, you do, but like, you're a third party employee. So it's like, I mean,
you can see where I'm coming from.
I fully understand where you're coming from. And I think that that's like the framework that most of us operate under. I just find it,
because there's kind of no other choice. Right?
Yeah,
that's the point.
That's kind of it. And
the point is you're broke when you're young.
Right, and the reason why this becomes a larger conversation is obviously people are still laying brick, but I said that kind of tongue-in-cheek because we're moving in a technological way where AI is going to replace a lot of manual labor is going to go by the side.
For sure.
Right?
100%.
So it's like once manual labor starts to fall and remedial tasks and things like this are replaced by AI,
they'll be cheaper as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're going to get afforded back a lot of time as a society. And the direction it's going right now is that we're just going to start world wars, right? Because if Twitter is any sort of indication of what happens when people have too much time on their fucking hands, you can be sure that nukes are just going to get launched from coast to coast. And we're all just going to fucking put an end to this whole thing.
That doesn't happen.
I mean, if the robots don't get us, we might just get ourselves.
Robots are on our side.
For now.
Full circle.
You never seen iRobot?
That was a great movie.
It really was.
Oh no! Wait, was it iRobot or the other one?
Will Smith.
Yeah, but the one with the dog.
Oh, that was the other one. That was
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Man,
yeah, that was
great
good.
movie. Great movie.
That could also happen where everyone turns into zombies.
Okay. Now you understand why we lived.
Like, it's weird because like the point of working is like kind of to persist, but also at some point like break the cycle of persistence. You know, like if you just had $10 million, like probably wouldn't work as hard.
Right.
You just have.
You would hope. Yeah.
You would hope.
I think oftentimes it goes the other way, though.
You would just choose passion projects.
Yeah, but I think oftentimes it goes the other way because how it's ingrained in us to, like, there's so much pride almost in breaking your back. Especially, like, where Brian and I grew up. Like, I've never clocked into a job, but I started helping my uncle lay brick when I was like 7 years old. I had mowed grass my entire life. Like I did nothing but manual labor, and that was enough to tell me I never want to work for someone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a huge difference between having a job that you dislike and you're doing it because you need to do it and to get by, and having a job that you literally enjoy and it's like it's a dumb cliche, but they say like if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Sure.
And that's true. Like if you enjoy your job and you don't look at it as it's sucking up all your time, you're enjoying it. Now obviously, if you have to go and you hate being there and you have to work these long hours and you're missing time with your family, then yes. But if you have a job that, has great vacation time, you can take off when you want, you enjoy
I mean, to be fair,
there,
you're going to miss time with your family. Like you're investing 40 hours a week. There's only so many hours in a day.
I think this is what brings people into poker, is because you don't really have an hourly on a sheet of paper, and it's very romanticized.
I think it's what keeps people in poker.
I think people, I don't know if it's just not call it the projecting just me thing, but most people that get into poker professionally probably do it because they started with the love of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if they start with the love of the game, they're trying to keep that for as long as possible because it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, it's like you love the game and it's a way
But at some point, like you get older, right? You just get into like your mid 30s and stuff, and you're grinding the circuit, and like you never had like your day in the sun. And now it's like, I've spent all this time.
Well, if you can continually progress forward, it's different, right? When there's no ceiling, when there's no cap, like I love competing. I love playing poker more than anything else, and I love winning.
So if you had $1 bajillion, you'd still go to Bobby's.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't go to Bobby's. Bobby's might get too small for me. But I'm sure I could find myself in, like, maybe I could work my way into a bigger game. But that's the point, right? Is that like I'm very fine playing the floor stake that I'm rolled for, but I'm not fine playing one beneath it. If I had to start playing 10-20 for a career tomorrow, I would get out of poker.
Such a smaller game, though.
There is no 25-50.
Oh, there isn't?
But it's the same thing.
It's like
it is the same thing.
Yeah, he's just saying like if he had to move down in stakes, he wouldn't.
Like it just starts to
like where the biggest buy-in was 10K instead of being at the floor.
Right. We ran 25-50 maybe a half dozen or a dozen times this summer, and it was a 10K cap. And I would choose to take those days off over play it. It's just at some point it's just not worth your time.
Well, because your standard is now higher, right? Just playing bigger games, like the hourly.
Just the standard for your time is higher too.
Well,
right?
when you're making so much more money in the other spot, why would you actively take a hit?
Sure, but like if I'm saying that if the other spot disappeared and that was the only game that I had available to me, I would play recreationally for a hobby, but I just would not continue to play
like
poker.
Sometimes you show up to play the games.
I'd play a dozen times a year and I'd just do it to have fun and try to catch.
What would you do?
I don't know.
What would you say you do here?
I mean,
like if
I think I would just stop wearing so many hats. I would just shift my focus.
Hats aren't that expensive though.
I would just shift my focus onto one project
one
at a
hat.
time.
Right. Yeah.
Would it be this?
Because
probably, at least in the near term, until either I thought this was fruitless or there was an obvious pivot. But I will say, like during COVID, when poker was kind of taken away, I still found ways to just play poker. You know what I mean? Like online became a thing, and app games became a thing. It's like the distraction that it offers you from the real world and having to deal with like real world problems and working like an actual adult is nice. It keeps you very much in that Peter Pan stage where it's like the athlete who never has to retire. I mean, like, if from the MLB you went to the geriatric league and we just had a league of like 30 to 48 year olds as like a stepping down process, I bet your ass like over half of the professional MLB players would just go through that process. Same thing with the NFL. Like if after the NFL there was a flag football league, Brady would be out there fucking slinging it every goddamn Sunday or Saturday that they play on. You know what I mean?
Tennis players have it.
Do they?
Pickleball.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
That, shockingly, hasn't caught on yet amongst the tennis crowd.
Yo,
Agassi only.
You know our neighbors have a pickleball court in their backyard.
You told me that.
Yeah, I was
They're
like,
going to be really
shit.
happy once I get mine built and we invite them over.
Yeah, I know.
They just have a makeshift one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have the full blown.
Get a few more people in the neighborhood, you can start a league.
That's true. That's true. My friend's brother lives across the street, and he has kids. They built a sick. It's dumb that I'm building it because literally I can walk to his house, but I'm not that close with them. They built a sick court.
Did they?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's I'm modeling after it.
It's
for
the
sure.
corner house?
No, one to the.
Okay.
So
I'll look.
It's on War.
Yeah, I know what house you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Speaking of for love of the game, somebody who no one loves it more for sure, and that was why I said I might fade him in the fantasy, because he's a psychopath who loves it more than anybody else, and I thought he would be double dipping. I didn't think he was going to take tournaments seriously, and I was dead wrong. So to that, Scott Seiver, I owe you an apology. Not that my Rast pick would have underperformed. He did quite well this summer as well, but not nearly as good as you, my friend. And I know you low-key are hearing this, so you get your flowers. You well deserved. You're the sickest son of a bitch I've ever met. Wins the Player of the Year this year, having to fight off Osmus and Rocco, who kind of made late surges, got very close towards the end. There were actually 2 online events that still counted post-World Series.
That's crazy because it didn't read that way in the rules.
I remember you reading it a couple different times, but
it said July 18th was the end.
Right. But as best I could tell, Osmus did confirm that they counted. And I think only one online event counts, obviously. I think if either Jeremy or Rocco would have won either one of those events, it would have been enough to carry them over. So Osmus lost by, looks like 717 points, give or take. He finished in third with 3,686.
Yeah, depending on how big his previous cash was online.
If he even had one.
He made a deep.
Oh, yeah. It was the 5K that I got. He min cashed it, but he got like 50.
Oh, because you'd lose those
he'll
points.
Be taking points.
Right.
So he'll need like 815 or so, 820 or something like that.
But I imagine winning it would probably have been enough.
Yeah,
unsure though.
It's only like 1,000 runners.
And then same thing with Rocco, who finished with 3,800 points. He finished exactly 600 points behind Seiver. I don't even know if Rocco played them though, to be quite honest.
I would say he does. I feel like he's an online grinder.
I think he owns a farm now, man.
Yeah, and plays online.
he is a live farmer.
Owns a farm.
I'm pretty sure
that he plays online.
Where did he buy this farm at? Idaho?
I have no idea.
Hopefully Montana. I would love to go visit. trying to get out to Big Sky one of these days. Gonna have to take
Pip.
No. Yeah, of course Pip has to go. No, Victoria has a place in Montana. I'm gonna have to go crash one of these days.
Place is sick.
What do you guys think about the series extending beyond the live events?
What do you mean?
So these 2 online events occurred 5 days after
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so 5 days after the World Series was officially over. What are your thoughts with regards to this counting towards Player of the Year?
I don't care. I'd want them to make it clear. Like when you say it ends July 18th, don't have 2 fucking events that are on the weekend.
And I'm just speculating here, but it could have been because maybe they said, okay, it ends July 18th because that's when the World Series ends. Then they came out with the online schedule because remember there was a delay.
Yeah.
So now they added, a few more events, post the live events, and they didn't change the wording.
Yeah,
we just know that Sundays do really well for online events, and like it ended on that week of the 18th. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's not like there's bracelets going on this week.
I think all the other online bracelet events counted, these ones should count as well.
I agree with that. I just wish the language was there.
I kind of am on the side of I wish the scheduling was a little bit cleaner. And mainly for the reason of so Racner, for example, was in a spot where if he had enough points, he was going to stay an additional 5 days to play these 2 events, right?
He probably went home.
But he went home, right?
Jesus.
Well, he didn't have enough points, I don't think. But maybe he did. I'm not sure. Anyway, he decided to go home, and I guess that's the point I'm trying to get at. Is once the series is officially over, and people are no longer grinding live events, because these guys are in the Player of the Year race. They will grind literally down to the final event, even if it's a fucking $100 down bad summer saver.
1K
right?
super
They're fucking
That's
in.
what we need. We need a $100 bracelet event.
Like they're in there for that shit. So I guess in the spirit of fairness, I don't like the idea of there being events post the live stuff, because there are people who live in states where WSOP.com is not available, and they're going to leave. Mm-hmm. But I guess if it's just known ahead of time, then it seems to be fine. It was an interesting little twist, though, because since Seiver had final tabled the 10K...
East of 7?
No, the 10K online event that played out live, he had accumulated enough online points where I don't think he could have staved off Rocco or Osmus by playing these ones unless he like won it so they couldn't.
Yeah.
Kind of
play
thing.
defense.
Right.
Defense.
Right. And maybe winning it would have been worth more points than his, I think he got third in the 10K because of like field bonus and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure. But it definitely created like some interesting dynamics coming down the stretch. Now, obviously, it's a super long shot that Jeremy or Rocco was going to come out and win one of these two final online events, but that's always the case.
Sorry, but this also affects the 25K draft and shit. Like all the players for that. Like, and
wait, how so? I don't think they count online.
Oh, they don't?
No, not at all.
None. Oh, okay.
They may make exceptions for the ones that play out live.
Okay.
Which hopefully they do, because
I'm gonna check it out.
Those are always like well within the framework of the series. Like they're never going to be post. And I think the fact that they play out live makes it pretty cool. You can verify that the people are the people, so you don't have to sweat the idea of, basically being scummed in some sort of capacity. But yeah, I think that whatever the Seiver banner will go up. It's well deserved. I do think we missed an opportunity here.
Raise the flag.
Yeah, raise the flag. I think we missed a big opportunity as a poker community here. Not having Scott sandbag and letting Osmus win the banner. I can't think of a better way to bring women into the game. Get that Jeremy Osmus banner. I mean, like,
what are you saying about Seiver?
Well, nothing. Seiver's a good-looking dude, but like at the end of the day, if we could just replace all of the banners with Patrick Antonius and Jeremy Osmus, I think we would be doing a lot better in the women's department.
So it does not count,
right,
for the score. It just gives you player of the year points.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And all that's including the ones that play out live.
Yeah. Hopefully they change that one, though. I think that there's room to change that one.
I agree. That'd be good.
Do you think they should make all the online events
play out live,
or do you think?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Hold on.
Especially
hold on.
in today's day and age.
If you're going to play out the events live, do some fucking coverage on them. There wasn't any coverage on none of the online final tables that played out live.
No, they were on. You just couldn't find it because you had to. So they were on World Series of Poker's YouTube page with Donnie and Remco. But if you search WSOP, you get nothing because WSOP is a keyword in like a million different titles on YouTube. The actual YouTube channel though is World Series of Poker. And so the final tables were covered there.
I went to go literally watch all of them and couldn't find anything.
Yeah, they're there because I went through the same problem and I knew that they were covered. I was positive, and I'm like, why can't I find their YouTube page? I just keep banging WSOP in the search box. I'm like, why can't I find their fucking YouTube page? I know they have one. And I was like, what if I spell it out? Maybe that's there it was.
Insane.
Right in front of my face.
Insane.
It was there all along.
I don't think Poker News did anything for him either, though.
That I don't know.
Like, I don't think
well,
I'm pretty sure
WSOP.com covered everything, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. So I'm pretty sure the Poker News' articles go into WSOP.com.
I think that's true.
And I'm pretty sure that nothing was covered because every time I went to go look at it, I was just like, why are they not doing this? And then I would go look for the stream and I'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Interesting, because I thought even whenever they were playing online, they covered it.
No, they didn't cover anything for online this year.
Really?
Like during online play, nothing got covered.
Interesting.
Last year, over the past years, they have.
Right.
For sure.
Oh, no. This is why.
What happened?
There's a drop-down tab.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Here, I'll share my screen with
I
Flop.
can't breathe right now.
Yeah. You want to pull my screen up? I can show you. So this is what you were used to looking at.
Oh.
And then you can drop it down to WSOP Online and go. So, like, there's this event. What would have been the live one? Maybe this one? But, yeah, maybe it didn't update anything.
Okay. They didn't.
So that's the 333. I don't see the ones that played out live.
They must just be on the normal WSOP because it's not the online. They're not really calling it online since they play it out live.
Yeah, maybe because I'm not seeing any of the bigger buy-in stuff. So let me see if it shows up here at all.
It was just one of the things that.
Yeah, here you go. Online. They're there.
Click the high roller one.
Where is it? Right here. No. Here. But they may not have done any updates. Yeah, you're right that they did no updates.
That's
So they're there, but there was no.
slightly tilting.
I can understand.
So I think they should all be played out live, but 2 months after the series ends, and they should all be at the Commerce.
Genius.
Honestly,
They could have the main event final table there too. Actually,
why they go to the Bahamas?
Actually, the November 9 could be 9 fucking events.
Yes.
Playing out the final tables.
No.
Oh my God, we did it. We
did
fucking figured. WSOP, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Time out. The November 9 can be in the Bahamas.
Oh,
That would be some strong shit.
They can be at the Cove.
well, I don't know if you saw this.
That's actually kind of cool.
They're having a.
They're now partnered with Triton for this
I saw
winter
that.
series.
That's
They're doing a
insane.
500K invitational. So the Triton has famously, how about that one?
Yeah.
They've famously done their pro-am where the amateur, it's a 250K buy-in. The amateurs have to invite a pro in order to come. Or maybe that's just the only way that the pro can get in. I can't remember.
Yeah, it is.
So they're doing the same thing in the Bahamas now, but it's double the stakes, 500K buy-in.
Wow.
And
What was that about playing multiple $100,000s in buy-ins? a
Right.
year?
I think you could probably get to 10 million if you need to.
They also have a fucking 25K 50 million running.
Yes.
Super Million.
50
Mix.
million?
50 million.
Yeah,
50
Super Main.
million guarantee.
No.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
Yes.
It's a 25K buy-in, 50 million guarantee.
Yeah.
I thought the whole series
No,
was
No.
They're
They're running a super main
25K 50
It's called the Super Main
million.
Event. Yeah.
Wow.
They-
WPT might have just got fucked.
They're
They-
trying to fuck WPT dead. They're
That's a big
trying
guarantee.
hard.
Well,
the 25K 50
2,000
They'll
million.
move
2,000 people?
WPT. Maybe they'll come out with 100 million guarantee.
You see, that's the thing.
I don't-
that
listen.
scares me for WPT because let me say, they're not gun shy.
They're not. They're not
They're
worried about
not
an
gun
overlay.
shy.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to do the math on that? How many runners do they need?
2,000. I will say.
Math on air, pretty good.
I will say this.
You used a calc.
2,000
No,
people
it
to
was
fork
too
up
quick.
25 dimes.
That's easy.
I will say this much. I don't want to leave Vegas in December.
But
There's a 25 million,
However,
50 million.
however, if there's a 25K,
you can start running
50 million
Sims right now.
guarantee, God, I'm gonna have to get good at poker. Aren't I?
Yeah. Well, a certain kind of poker.
It's not real poker. Let me tell you. I've seen enough. I played the 2K online yesterday. I know enough. It's just fucking flipping coins. Everybody stinks. Okay, so yeah, I was of the impression that it was a 50 million guarantee for the entire Bahamas trip, but you guys are saying now that it's a 50 million guarantee for the main. I can't seem to find. I thought WSOP tweeted something, but I can't
Daniel
find
put
it.
out a whatchamacallit,
You know me to
a
add.
video.
Oh, I have
video
a
ad.
I have it muted. Sorry. Not even because I dislike him, because he's fucking talking politics all the goddamn time. I can't breathe.
Can't breathe.
It's just too
Yeah,
much.
it's on his
Like,
Twitter.
how do you even go on Twitter without seeing politics everywhere?
You don't
It's been
look at
it's
it.
been a laborious task of muting.
I hate when you like go out of Twitter and go back to it. It just takes you right back to the For You, and it's like, no, put me in the pirates list. I'm only on the pirates list.
All right, Guap.
damn.
Do you have this, or do you need me to send it to you? We can run this ad. Yeah, let's run this ad here. I'll send it to you.
Like the first.
You got
found it.
Okay. Yeah, let's run this ad so I can hear what the fuck is actually going
Roll
on.
the clip.
Roll the clip.
That's insane.
Roll. We did it. In case you haven't noticed, we're into breaking records at the World Series of Poker. Bigger and better is just how we roll. We did it this summer, as you saw, with the main event. Speaking of the main event, the WSOP just had a super idea for this year's WSOP Paradise in the Bahamas. For the first time ever, WSOP will host the super main event, a $25,000 buy-in with the biggest guarantee in the history of poker. Wait, is that number right? 50 million? What? 50 million? You guys are nuts, for real. Huge prize pools, massive water slides, fun for the whole family, and the chance to hunt bracelets with the beautiful backdrop of the Bahamas beaches just a few sandy footsteps away from the poker room. 15 bracelets will be on the line with buy-ins ranging from $2,500 up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right, a $1 million buy-in. The WSOP has partnered with the Triton Millions to bring the largest poker tournament in WSOP history back home. So what are you waiting for? Come make history with us again at WSOP Paradise.
pretty sick.
That's absurd.
Wait, it's $1 million buy-in?
That's another.
There's a
tournament.
different tournament.
There's also $1 million buy-in.
There's probably like the way Triton does it. Like there's a few different 100K buy-ins of like the invitational.
I know. I thought he said it was an invitational though for the $1 million. No.
I don't think so.
It might be that business one where it's like one businessman.
No, that's what the 500K.
That's the Pro-Am 500K.
Yeah, I think the million. It's just like the kind of thing that WPT did last year, where they had the $1 million one drop.
Right.
But they're just having their own $1 million buy-in.
Yeah. Well, how many did
playing
that
that
get
one?
last year? 12?
No, we got more than that. Like 24, 27.
Last year's 1 million?
I think so.
Really?
They paid 4 spots.
I thought that they almost didn't run it because
That's what I thought
like
too.
Elton and a few others last minute I thought pulled out.
1 second.
But yeah,
I'll look.
I could be incorrect. Okay, so it sounds like there's going to be $1 million buy-in, a 500K buy-in for all you high rollers out there. I know that you're all tuned in.
Yep.
Um,
What's up, Kuhn?
there's going to be an array of other high rollers, I imagine, between like, 25K and 100K buy-ins. The 25K super main event, which is 50 million guarantee. And then
They got
there's
17 entries.
17 entries.
17
okay.
entries and 4 paid.
Okay. And
Both
then
are wrong.
All right. I have a really good question. Or
Go on.
A question.
Just a question.
Just a
Not
question.
really good.
Not
It's just
really
a
good.
question.
All right.
It's not good. I'm just curious.
So we know that WSOP just put a 25-50 million out.
yeah,
What would be our guess of what the win does?
I don't know. I really don't know.
51 million.
I guarantee you.
No, they're not going to. No, because the dates overlap. They're not going to do what they did last year. They're not going to put themselves in a position to overlay.
No,
that
no.
doesn't happen.
But I
twice.
think what I do think they will do
thinks
is front load it. So this way it doesn't.
I don't think that's.
I think it's possible.
Feasible. So
They just make the
WSOP
championship
is
in,
the
like-
6th to the 19th.
Yeah. So if they front load it, because so basically
They haven't released dates of what each actual event is yet, though, right?
No, but WPT has a they have some type of charity tournament that's on like the 23rd, I want to say, of November.
Okay.
So, and that was at the beginning of the series last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to front load their 10K, the championship, to the beginning of the series, they could make it possible that players can go to both. And they could also say, fuck you, I'm going to put $51 million guarantee on this. And that would be insanity.
I really don't
Make
think.
it 6 flights instead of 3 like last year.
Yeah, make it rebuys. Do whatever you have to do.
I mean, I don't know what the mindset is there, but I would imagine it matters more to them to hit the guarantee after missing last year than it does to one up WSOP.
I agree and I disagree. I agree because yes, they need to hit the guarantee again or have to hit the guarantee.
What I'm saying is if they go bigger than WSOP, it's worse to try to outdo someone. Like if they did a 60 million guarantee and got 50 or got 52,
Okay.
which is more money
It'd
in the
have been better
prize
for
pool,
them to do 50 and then
or to do 40.
40 and then really crush
Yeah,
it.
because I think that
it looks
like,
better when you crush it than when you
exactly. I think if
have
they
it, yeah.
overshoot and try to one up WSOP and then overlay, in spite of maybe even having a bigger prize pool,
Yeah.
it still just becomes a point of emphasis where they get dunked on, like Jack did at the GPIs this year. Pointing out
Norman got him.
that he overlaid or
Yeah.
that they overlaid type of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that they overlaid because of the timing and like
I
the
think that's a
situation.
big part of it. Yes.
And like WSOP, like they weren't that far off.
I think that's yeah, they were. It was like 7.5 million.
Not
Those were
3.
like 2.5
Or 3.
million.
Okay, but still, like 3 million's a lot. It's not a lot of people. It's
Yeah.
only 300 people, but it's a lot of physical dollars
No, of course.
that they have to put into.
It looks like you're not meeting expectations, which is kind of like a bad.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of a
I
bad
would see a
look, I
world where
guess.
they didn't put a guarantee on it at all, over one where they try to do 60 million.
Listen, I don't think they're going to back down. I think that there will be a guarantee at the bare minimum, same thing as they did last year, if not more.
I don't think they're going to do 40 again, man.
I would. They're not backing down from 40. I'll tell you that right now.
Do we know what the structure of the 25K 50 million looks like? Like, is there multiple flights,
We don't-
multiple
I don't think
entries?
we know anything.
We don't know anything yet, and
Right.
they're going to be slow.
There's
to release
no
that
way
info for sure.
There's no way. It's
There's going to be a
freeze
lot
out.
of Svens.
There's no way it's a freeze out. It can't be a freeze.
No shot. No shot. There's going to be a lot of Svens for sure. Svens are grinding the GG satellites as we speak. Lena is coaching them all up.
Yep.
in
He's gonna start a stable. That's what he's gonna do with his money.
It's the Scandi stable. It's gonna be named Sven.
Yep.
Swedes versus
You
the
win
world.
4 seats, and that's 100K.
pretty fucking
Pretty nice. Yeah.
You'll be using all those bullets.
So I don't know where you saw the WPT has the November dates, but I'm looking at Card Player and they have it as December 3rd to December 30th, or sorry, December 20th.
Okay, yeah, they don't have those dates. They just have the it's like what is it, like the water, the one drop.
Yeah.
Whatever they do for the like a water foundation for getting
one
water.
drop. Yeah.
One drop.
Yeah.
Wait,
Shut the fuck up, you two.
Is it the water or the water?
I hate both.
That's what the $1 Million buy-in was
The
last
Water
year.
Foundation
what-
Invitational.
That wasn't before. That was like in the heart of the series.
Got to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
It was actually quite at the end, I think. It might have been like one of the last events they ran.
That was the big one. I had a little one, I'm pretty sure, earlier. And I'm not
Maybe-
sure exactly what it was called, but
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure it was on... I'm pretty sure I saw something that said it was on the 23rd of November.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, I'm not sure.
As in, like they might have had in the
there's
100K
nothing-
last year and then a 1 million. Or
Yeah, I
something?
mean, there's
No,
nothing
no,
listed.
I'm talking about very small buying, like a charity type thing, $200-$300.
I don't think so.
I mean, maybe there's nothing listed on Card Player, and obviously these dates could change. I don't think that they're necessarily locked in.
They're
Especially,
probably gonna have to.
I mean, don't forget F1 is end of November out here too.
Oh, is it?
So I don't think Win is going to
When
be.
it's toxic, man.
Yeah, but like Win's not going to be trying to run a major event where their rooms are already fucking full, and people are gambling. You know,
And APT is going on around this time too.
NAPT was mid-December last year, I think, but I could be wrong about
It was
that.
in November.
November.
Was
my
it
birthday.
November?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It went to November, NAPT to win.
Oh
this
yeah, yeah.
time.
NAPT is November 1st to the 10th.
Wait, again this year?
I don't know. That's what
okay.
that is the dates for this year. I don't know what last year's were.
Nice.
It feels like kind of a small amount of days.
7, 8, 9 days, 10 days.
It wasn't that big last year.
I just mean like I would expect it to kind of be like, I don't know, more of a series. I don't know, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Well,
But I guess not.
selfishly, I'm definitely hoping for both NAPT and WP to crush it because it's local, number one. But number two, the thing that those two events both do incredibly well, and by well, I mean interests me the most, is they run big cash games alongside it. They cut no cost when it comes to the streams and the produced cash games and things of that nature, and always huge action. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but like I effectively flipped myself out of the 10K main to play 2 hours of the WPT high stakes cash game. Would do it again.
I mean, they should run a game around you. Call it the Berkey Big Game.
Yeah. You're only allowed to bet pot or bigger. Pot or bigger.
Right.
Ooh, this board's a range bet. Yeah, well, what about for fucking pot?
That's true. Get ace deuce and start betting pot. You're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, now we're fucking talking.
You can only check raise pot or bigger.
I don't see anything wrong with
Instead
any
of
of
pot
this.
limit, that's pot minimum.
Pot minimum.
Oh,
yes.
let's go.
Pot minimum,
Yep.
your stack maximum.
Right.
The
You
scary
have to
part
buy
of-
it for
Minimum-
200,
Minimum
2,000 big blinds.
Minimum 1,000 big blinds.
Yeah.
The scary
buy-in.
part about that is like, well, the game might be smaller by default because we're gonna start checking more. You know.
Yeah. Well, they might. Godspeed.
The only thing you can do is bet pot or bigger.
Yeah.
So you can't fold if you VPIP.
Exactly. Exactly. Now we're talking.
That's scary.
Lot to look forward to. I mean, honestly, like it's gonna be an interesting winter, I guess. God, I just want to go fucking snowboarding. These guys are putting up fucking $50 million.
Tough
That's
stuff.
pretty exciting.
Tough spot for
If you think about
WPT.
it, like November, December, it's going to be popping.
It is.
It's going to be fucking popping.
Florida starts
usually-
beforehand. Smart guys.
When's
Yeah.
Florida?
November.
Like
Well,
right after Thanksgiving.
Well, August.
Yeah.
in a
usually
couple weeks, but-
Thanksgiving is like day 1A
Yeah.
of whatever the main is.
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
Florida people will be
Lot of
over there
opportunity
already.
for you guys.
know,
It's
people
like-
that go for the WPT, they're gonna be Bahamas side anyways.
That was
That's what
that was
happened
kind
last
of the
year.
draw last year. It's East Coasters and Euros,
Yeah, they're happy about it.
and then West Coasters and Canadians, I guess, come here.
Yeah.
No. Canadians are Bahamas.
Why?
Tax.
I don't.
They snatch 30% from us. They snatch nothing in Bahamas. I know that 110%.
Well,
They can get it
I don't
back.
know. I
They
know
get
they
it back,
I know
but-
they can get it back from us.
Yeah.
It just might take a little effort, but
Takes effort and time, but
Man.
when they go to the Bahamas, there's no tax for them.
I wonder. I mean, last year WPT kind of found a way to. You could play both the Bahamas and the last flight of the WPT if you were lucky, like not lucky enough, but if you planned early enough to get flights.
right.
This year, they're probably gonna have to do it in a way that allows you to play both if you really want to.
I mean, the thing is that WSOP is just like stepping on the dates that WPT has set aside. So like either they're gonna have to front load
It's
it
pretty
to
smart.
November, or the other thing is I don't even think they can pull it that far back because the WPT in Florida counts. So it's not like they can move the championship up that far.
Right.
Oh shit! They can't even do the end of November.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I didn't even think about
Like
that.
Florida has to end before they can run the WPT championship. Right. So
Right.
like, the
Christ.
earliest they could do it is maybe like November 30th.
That sucks. No, Thanksgiving's on the 28th. I feel like.
No, it's the last Thursday.
That could be.
I mean, it could
What do
be,
you
but
mean? I'm pretty sure it's the 28th.
He
This year.
says no. It could be one day before.
My birthday's on the 25th, and I knew it wasn't near that.
oh, maybe it is. The last Thursday is the 28th.
There you go.
There you go, buddy.
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 No.
Yeah.
So quick to just shoot you down.
I just feel like I think the championship for the WPT needs to be after the Super Main.
It used to be a January event.
The-
It's been a lot of different things.
The
When
issue
it was
is-
at the Brigada, it was a January event.
They
I
can't
think
do
when it
that
was at
this year
Florida, it
though.
was
Like
January.
everyone knows. Like I mean, at least with the past couple years, the championship at the Win is in December. That's
Sure.
what they've done. But you think?
Yeah, but what are you going to do, man? You have a competing brand that's putting up a $50 million guarantee for an event that
you
people are
think
going
if
to
they
go
move
to.
it, you think if they move it to January, they're going to move theirs to January as well?
No.
Not this year. Like
Not
next
this year.
No,
No,
like,
no.
Well, I mean, it becomes a game of chicken. Then December dates reopen. You know,
exactly.
it's like you can only do so much. Like at some point, both of these events are just going to coexist, not overlapping one another.
Yeah.
Like someone has to kind of bend on this.
What
It's not even that someone has to bend. It's just that like the smart move isn't to put an extra $10 million on your guarantee. It's to move it to January.
Right. Yeah. Like why do you want it to be running at the same time?
You don't.
Well, the WSOP does because they want to be superior.
Yeah.
Like steal the
And-
overhead.
Yeah, and the thing is that they did not overlay last year, so they have more margin of error.
And they have
Right?
online
Like, they-
satellites. They have a lot of
Yeah,
other
they have
ways to do
GG.
things. They don't care. Like they're gonna fill their seats no matter what kind of.
Right. At the end of the day, the WSOP is the bigger brand, right? They're
Right.
pulling from the GG player pool, which is
Right.
much larger than the WPT global player pool.
Yeah, but it's those fans.
It is all Svens.
And
but
Triton
hey,
people now.
That's the new face. Yeah, now they partnered with Triton, which is also a big tour whenever it comes to the high stakes stuff. So there's a lot of lore there. And now the counter that you can run if you're WPT is, hey, our event's softer. But
Yeah.
that's not going to break records, right? Because when you have a recreational who lives in Florida and they have to choose between the convenience of the Bahamas or the softness of Vegas, they're almost certainly going to go to the Bahamas.
You're going to the Bahamas, man.
They don't care about win rate, you know.
Right.
Like they're not playing for that. They're playing for the experience. They're playing for the fun.
Playing a
They
gamble.
want to see
The
D-Negs.
bracelet.
Yeah, they want the bracelet. So like it honestly, it's fortunate or unfortunate. It doesn't really make a difference from my point of view, but it probably matters to the companies that be. The
probably
WSOP gets to just choose dates. They're going to get to win
Yeah.
the same way they get to win the summer, and the WPT gets to benefit off of that by
running
choosing-
stuff close.
Yeah, running stuff close that they get to choose their
Like the
dates for.
WPT 10K over the summer did great. You know, first was 2.2 million.
That's
Shout out to
massive.
Nikki P. I think that when it comes to the championship event, I guess for this time around, it makes sense to do it probably after the Florida WPT that they have going on in January.
I don't think it's a WPT. Remember, not all those Florida
I think
stops
the
are
first one. Or no, you might be right. Actually, I think you're right. The January.
This is the rockin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
January's not a WPT, so
right.
they can run it in January.
I think April is.
April is. That's the
Yeah.
one that I IFT'd.
Yeah. So what you end up doing is now you just partner with them for that January series and stick the WPT championship at the end of it.
I think
right?
so.
So let them have the 3,500 main normally, bring the prime in, and then have the championship at the back at the tail end of it.
Are you saying in Florida?
Yeah.
Move it to Florida.
Oh,
No.
right.
No.
I forgot
No,
we were
I
at
mean,
the win.
no.
You could
You could move it to Florida.
move it to Florida and
They-
capture all the people
they've
who come
done
back
that.
from the Bahamas.
They did that before though.
Yeah.
Florida's sick.
Florida would be sick, but like win, I think is also sick.
When is
And
this?
January's like pretty down, like outside of the AVNs. You know,
AVNs.
yeah,
The Porn Star Awards.
yeah, the porn
Shout
star
out
awards.
to 22.
That's
Oh,
what you
no, I
meant.
knew
I think
that.
the rodeo might be in town in January too.
That's at South Point though.
That's true.
Howdy.
The glizzies.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think WPT will ever move their championship outside of Win. Win is very comfortable. Everybody loves it. It's like...
Oh, it'll continue to move. Like, this is the 5th venue that it's been at. It's been at Bellagio. It's been at Borgata. It's been at Hard Rock Seminole. It's been at the Win.
I feel like, maybe they have a contract or something that holds them there for a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to stay at the Win. Like, what they did there was beautiful, and it makes a lot of sense.
It's so comfortable.
I think the dates are just going to have to change.
Yeah.
Right? And November is definitely not an option with F1 and with the final WPT event running in Florida.
It's kind of funny because, like, WPT should be just waiting for the last day of the main for them to announce the Bahamas dates, because they do it on the last day of the main.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, whatever. What's the difference?
I mean, when you
like, they're reacting anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, sure. I get. Well, they could have played chicken. They could have announced that the WPT championship would be moved to January, and then see if WSOP moves Bahamas to January.
That would have been sick, and then slide in.
Just kidding.
Just move it back.
It's a joke. It was a joke, Pat.
Joke.
They would have took it as they got the W.
Who?
WSOP.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like, that's what I'm getting at. At the end of the day, like, it only benefits WSOP for these events to butt heads against one another because they're the bigger brand.
Yes.
They always get to win. Like, that's just the nature of it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make sense to open up the gas station across the street from the one that's getting more business. Like, yes,
Coke always beats Pepsi.
Sure. I was a Pepsi guy, man.
Yeah,
Same.
well,
You know,
you're a WPT guy.
maybe. I don't know. I've never I don't know. I love the
I love
WSOP.
WPT.
Yeah, I love them both, to be quite honest.
They do a lot for poker.
But it just doesn't make any sense for WPT to continually try to fight this uphill battle. Like, it only makes sense to piggyback off of it. There's no, like, being 1A and then being 1 isn't harming the brand. I get it, man. Internally, like, there's a fight going on between these two brands where one of them is fucking determined to end the other. And maybe that happens someday. Maybe there's a merger. Who knows? I think that's bad for us if it does. I think this competition is really great for the players and the community
And
alike.
getting $10 million a year in buy-ins and tournaments.
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly, I really think the WPT is going to come out with a bigger guarantee at the bare minimum same, and they're going to fight for their spot. They're going to fight for their spot. They're not just going to roll over.
I would roll over.
I would, you would, but they're not.
I mean, pride-wise, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah,
but
of
I think
course.
it's the smart business
But, like,
decision.
at the same time, if they try to do what they did this last year, like, the overlay, instead of being $3 million, is going to be 13.
Is
Or
it?
somewhere around there.
Why?
It very well could be.
I mean, now you're putting 10
people
million
from Vegas
extra.
are actually going to go to the Bahamas now.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, they could make the championship a lot tougher and just do unlimited reentry for each of the 4 flights,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll probably hit the
Close.
40, maybe, but they're not going to hit 50. I think 50's out of reach at this point.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, with a competing event, like, especially it being in the Bahamas, like, I don't think people, whether it was by design or not, it's really restrictive when it comes to last minute travel. Like, you're just not going to be able to get a few hundred people out of the Bahamas to go to Vegas all on the same day.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of flights, you know what I mean? Like, you're just all going to end up in Atlanta wishing that you had chosen a different fucking career path. Like, it's just, this is kind of the way it goes, you know?
So true.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see how it plays out. We're speculating too much, and this show's running on way too long. Let's save it for tomorrow. We got a lot in store for you guys tomorrow. Sorry Jesse couldn't be here. I misunderstood his text. He's in the future, but he's laid up in bed today, had a procedure done. I think something about getting his eyebrows
Plucked.
Really waxed?
What's it called whenever they
Like Botox?
No, come on. Yeah, it's so clear we're all dudes.
Threaded?
Thank you. I knew you would get it. Fucking
Michelle does. She gets.
where's the inner Michelle on you?
I get my eyebrows threaded.
Of course you do.
The man can't be any more beautiful than he already is.
Well,
so I don't know.
I heard that he had a beauty routine that has him laid up on the couch for a week or so. And then him and Ash are going on vacation. But Jesse will be in studio in the future.
Can't wait.
So you guys can look forward to that. We're also going to have a special guest here on Friday. I believe we're going to be joined by Jesse Lonis.
Wow.
And one Danny Sepiol.
The Vanilla Gorilla's in the building.
Vanilla
that will be an After Dark episode on Friday because I have a starting seat, and those guys are kind of After Dark kind of dudes. So be sure to look forward to that, 6 p.m. on Friday. Tomorrow we'll be here at, what do you guys want to do, 11 or noon?
Noon.
Okay.
I'm out tomorrow.
Okay, Conrad's out tomorrow. What do you want, Landon? 11 or
What are you
noon?
laughing about, Landon?
All right, we'll do noon. We'll do noon tomorrow, team. I think that's going to be our new time moving forward. So stay tuned. 12 p.m. tomorrow, noon Pacific time. We'll be back, ready to bring you all the action. Thank you guys for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. We'll see you guys then.
Later, squad.
Peace.